What's good, YouTube? It's your boy P Money. So Blazers take another loss, but play some inspired basketball without Dame and Hassan Whiteside in the starting lineup, and Anthony Simons nursing a pretty bad left ankle. So he didn't get the start. But in that first quarter, CJ McCollum went for 7 points on 3 of 7 from the field. He goes 1 of 2 from 3, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Anthony Tolliver was the second leading scorer in that first quarter with 5 points on 2 of 5 from the field. He went 1 of 3 from 3, had 2 rebounds. The Blazers ended up making 6 threes in that first quarter to stay pretty close in the game. But the Bucks countered with Eric Bledsoe. He scored 7 points on 3 of 6 from the field, goes 1 of 2 from 3. And Giannis went for 7 points on 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He pulled down 8 boards, had 4 assists, a turnover, and a steal. And then they ended up making 5 3-pointers. But their bench scored 14 points in the quarter, and they were up 37-27. In the second quarter, CJ McCollum still cooking. He goes for 14 points on 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a turnover, and 2 blocks. And then Skal Labissière went off in that quarter. He had 14 points on 6 of 11 from the field, went 2 of 3 from 3, had 5 rebounds, a steal, 3 blocks off the bench. So he was balling. And then Melo, he had 10 points on 3 of 9 from the field, went 2 of 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, assists, and 2 turnovers. For the Blazers, they had 9 made threes. The Bucks, Eric Bledsoe was still cooking. He had 14 points on 6 of 13 from the field, went 2 of 5 from 3, had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a turnover. And then Giannis had 11 points on 5 of 11 from the field. He goes for 1 of 3 from 3, had 9 rebounds, 7 assists, a turnover, a steal, and a block. So he was already messing around with a triple-double in 2 quarters. And then off the bench, Pat Connaughton chipped in 11 points on 4 of 5 from the field, went 1 of 2 from 3, had 3 rebounds, an assist, and a turnover. The Bucks bench ended up with 28 points in that first half. Blazers only had 18. The Bucks had 9 free throws makes. They had 9 free throw attempts and 6 makes, and the Blazers had 6 free throw attempts and 5 makes. The Bucks had 35 rebounds to the Blazers 21, and the Blazers were down 72-58 at the half. And then in that third quarter, Giannis was still doing his thing. He ended up with 5 in that quarter, but it was a lot harder for him in that third quarter. He ended up with 16 points on 6 of 17 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, had 13 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 turnovers, 3 steals. So he had a triple-double pretty early in that third quarter too. But Bledsoe picked up the slack. He had 24 points on 9 of 17 from the field, had 2 of 5 from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a turnover. And then Pat Connaughton did his thing. He scored 7 in that quarter for 18 points on 7 of 10 from the field, goes 2 of 3 from 3, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover. But CJ McCollum was keeping the Blazers in the game. He had 28 points on 11 of 20 from the field, goes 4 of 5 from 3, had 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 blocks. And Melo was doing his thing as well. He scored 5 in that quarter. He had 15 on 5 of 11 from the field. He goes 3 of 4 from 3, had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 turnovers. And the third quarter, Blazers had 15 made threes, and they were shooting 50% at the time from 3, 48% from the field. Oh no. Yeah, they went 50% from 3. They had 25 assists, and then 48% from the field. And then for the Bucks, they had 22 field goal or free throw attempts in that third quarter. So that's pretty much what was keeping them up. And the Blazers only had 12 at the time. and the Bucks were actually shooting 38% from the field at the time. So the Blazers cut into the lead pretty good in that third quarter. But in the fourth, the Blazers showed really good heart. They ended up only being down at one point late in the game by 2, but they made some bad mistakes. And the Bucks ended up hitting 2 threes back to back, so it made them lose this game pretty much. But I was definitely encouraged by the way they played. They made some mistakes in that, like I said, in that last few minutes that made them lose the game. But this was definitely very encouraging to see from the Blazers just fighting. And then guys that will definitely not be playing, contributing so much. The Blazers ended up winning the second half. I think it was 71-65, but they just didn't have enough, you know. McCollum ended up finishing with 37 points on 15 of 29 from the field. He goes 5 of 10 from 3, had 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 turnovers, and 3 blocks. So big game from C.J. McCollum. Skal Labissière was money all night. He went 22 points on 10 of 16 from the field. Goes 2 of 4 from 3, had 12 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 5 blocks. So he was money on both ends of the floor. And then Melo, he ended up finishing with 18 points on 6 of 15 from the field, goes 3 of 5 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 turnovers. And then we got some contributions from Gary Trent Jr., who got the start. He ended up with 13 points on 5 of 7 from the field, goes 3 of 4 from 3, had a rebound, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks in 20 minutes of action. Nasir Little, he finished up with 12 points on 3 of 5 from the field, goes 1 of 2 from 3, and had a rebound. And he only had, I think, 22 minutes of action. So big contributions from those 2 players. For the Bucks, Eric Bledsoe led the way for them with 30 points on 11 of 21 from the field. He goes 2 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, and a steal. And then Giannis had a crazy stat line, not in points, but he went for 24 points on a terrible 9 of 27 from the field, goes a terrible 1 of 7 from 3, but he pulled down 19 boards, dished out 15 assists, had 5 turnovers, had 3 steals and a block. And then what's that one guy? I'm gonna just call him DB. He ended up scoring 16 points on 7 of 15 from the field, goes 2 of 6 from 3, had 6 rebounds, assists, and a steal. And then 6 Bucks end up in double figures, as well as the Blazers. So that's pretty much the stats. For the team, Blazers shoot 50 of 103 for 49% from the field. They go 17 of 39 for 44% from three-point land. They go 12 of 14 for 86% from the free throw line. Of their 50 made baskets, they get 32 assists, which is definitely a season high. They pull down only 41 rebounds, non-offensive. They get 6 steals. They have 11 blocks, and they only have 8 turnovers. For the Bucks, they shoot 50 of 106 for 47% from the field. They go 16 of 43 for 37% from three-point land. They go 21 of 26 for 81% from the free throw line. And they also get 32 assists on their 50 made baskets. They pull down 58 rebounds, 19 offensive, 7 steals, 3 blocks, and 12 turnovers. So the Bucks were plus 17 on rebounding. And that pretty much was the name of the game, as well as the free throw attempts, where there was a big discrepancy. They made 9 more than we did, and they got 12 more than we did. So we just couldn't get to the line because we made a lot of jump shots, of course. The plus 17, that was pretty, it was crazy. They just kept getting second chance points and then easy stickbacks. So that was pretty much the name of the game for the Bucks. That's pretty much what got them to win. The 8 turnovers, I was very encouraged with that, especially with all the guys that haven't played together, you know what I mean? Melo hasn't played with a lot of the guys. I mean, CJ has, but I mean, they just don't really have a lot of like game action with each other. So I was very encouraged with that. Just not even having Dame out there to even compete with the Bucks, who are fairly healthy compared to the Blazers right now. It's just a testament to the type of depth that the Blazers have. And then having a guy like Melo, it's really, really needed for the Blazers. So I just can't wait to see what the Blazers can do once Dame, CJ, Melo, Hassan, and all the guys are out there together, just to see what they look like, you know? I know Hassan's been dealing with the heart issues and hip issues and foot issues and whatnot, but even though when he's out there, it's still, I mean, he's a 7-footer, and it's just a little bit harder to get over on him, even though guys are still finishing at the basket a lot. It's just better when he's out there, you know what I mean? And then you have a guy like Labissiere coming off the bench. But when you have a guy like Anthony Tolliver getting the start, and then Hezonja only playing 9 minutes, you know, like, you're gonna get a lot of easy finishes against Anthony Tolliver, because that dude is not a center at all. He's only like 6'8", and it was just bad. It was really bad as far as like the rebounding goes. He was not boxing out a couple of times, man. Tolliver just needs to go, and we got to definitely make a move to get him up out of there. Or if he's going to stay on the team, just have him buried on the bench, because he's just basically all he is now is a specialist, a 3-point specialist. He can't really do much else. He just doesn't have the foot speed or anything anymore. The lateral quickness, just doesn't have any of those things. It was just disgusting. Some of the stuff I saw from him, like, he's given Giannis a lot of space, which is understandable because you don't want him to blow right past you to the basket. So I understood it. And the Blazers actually, as a collective, did do pretty well against Giannis. He only made 9 field goals and he had 27. So kudos to the Blazers for stopping him as far as offensively, but he was just a terror on the boards, and then he was a terror with the assists as well. He was just finding the open guy, and they were just making them. You know, like the Bucks are a hell of a 3-point shooting team, and I see why. You know, they are where they are right now. They're definitely one of the better teams in the East, and like I said, I keep saying it, I was very encouraged by how the Blazers played, even against a formidable team like the Bucks. So there's definitely hope for the Blazers, and then the next 4 games are against, we got the Cavs, we got the Bulls twice, and we got OKC. So those are all winnable games, and I think we need all of those games. And even Melo said it. Like, the next 2 games, he feels that the next 2 games are very, very important. So even Melo understands what this is. Like, yeah, we fought well yesterday, and we came up short, but against teams like the Cavs and the Bulls and the OKC Thunder, we gotta get those wins, man. We gotta get Dame healthy, and I believe that Dame will play, because he already stated that he's pretty much gonna try and go on Saturday. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Dame and Melo together for the first time, and just the chemistry, because Dame says it's gonna be easy once they get on the court, because I know they played a lot of pickup together, so it shouldn't be too much that like Dame and Melo understand each other's games and where they like to be at and how they like to get the ball if they're passing it to one another. So I just can't wait to see that, because Melo's been very impressive to me in his first 2 games back. This game was big time for Melo, in my opinion. Going up against a guy like Giannis and having a pretty good game on both ends of the floor. There's nothing that you can really say about Melo right now, as far as, like, does he belong in this league? Does he play defense? None of that. All of that stuff went out the window last night, because he played good on both ends of the floor. So shots out to all-time great Carmelo Anthony from last night. And I definitely look forward to him having a big game against the Cavs, especially with Dame out there. Just having Dame out there is going to space the floor so much, because so many people are going to be trying to key in on Dame, trying to set traps and all of that stuff. The usual that Dame gets on a daily basis. In other news, I saw the only other game, and the Suns, man, I don't know what's going on with them right now. I thought they were gonna take that game, and then late game situations, man, it's just, I didn't like what I saw from the Suns, man. As far as late game situations, they kind of squandered that game away at home to the Pelicans. And the Pelicans are playing well, but I think the Suns should have probably won that game, because the Pelicans, they were kind of making some mistakes too, and they had Lonzo Ball out there quite often. But other than that, that's all I got. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to all my supporters. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I am off this.